YouTube. So today I'm going to explain something that's been really difficult to talk about, but it's worth it so that you can understand why I am who I am. I started out with two parents, my mother and father. My mother and father had me, they were married. My early life was spent in Lawrence with my father's family, but my mother decided to move us to Lynn. And I'm not going to get into too much detail about all of the bad, but I will tell you that things weren't easy. So, at 2 years old, I remember visiting my father in Lawrence. I used to play outside as a kid with my dad's dog, Rugged, and my dad used to put me on his shoulders, and I used to dunk baskets with a basketball into the hoop that he hung up on the deck. My dad used to put me on his shoulders and bring me to the corner store to get candy, and we'd walk home together. It got too dangerous after a while to walk to the stores, so we stopped going. When I was a baby, at one point we lived in Lynn, and things happened that changed my mom and dad's lives forever. My mother and father fought a lot. Things happened and they split up. My mother ended up in the hospital for self-harm, and my father overdosed on pills and survived. I ended up with my grandmother, and she ended up raising me. Growing up as a kid, I struggled with my emotions. My grandmother was never supportive of me talking about things with her, and I was in therapy from the age of 6 because of trauma and fear. My father ended up in jail when I was 6, and emotionally it took a toll on me. A lot of negative things happened to me growing up, and I'm not going to get into it though, so I'm not going to get into that. I don't expect anything. No one owes me shit. I'm just talking and telling people who I am and connecting, because the truth is everything is connected, and you just have to be awake to see it and understand the ins and outs. After being adopted by my grandmother, my father asked for my last name to stay the same. He wanted me to never forget where I came from, and I never asked to be adopted. It was confusing, and honestly, the things I didn't really need in life affected me negatively. I wanted simplicity. I never expected people to give me anything. I always wanted less, and no one understood that. I grew up very sheltered, which honestly made me rely on my grandmother and family for support. I grew up with things I didn't ask for, like luxuries, a house, vacations in the summer, a bed to sleep in, hot water, extra food, a washer, a dryer, things I didn't need but had because the woman who raised me could afford it. I realized that others didn't get these luxuries, and the truth settled in that I had opportunities to change. For years I knew that. I hated the lifestyle I grew up in, but it taught me so much, and I stayed quiet about my thoughts on this for too long. I never felt like I fit into this lifestyle because I never started out with luxuries. I was never better than anyone else, and what people don't get is when you're adopted, you don't always get to continue the same lifestyle. Everything is temporary. At 18, my caretaker, my grandmother, passed away, and my family stopped their efforts in being supportive. I moved around a lot, and although I was upset with them, I continued on my own journey without their help. I appreciated what I've been through. I needed to go through it all to complete the puzzle in my mind about where I belonged, and my life is simple right now. I'm on my way to being wherever I need to be. I never stop. I'm barely ever home. I work very hard, and I appreciate everything I go through. People assume so much about who I am without actually talking to me about what I've been through. And I've had people I don't even know tell me they hate me to my face, but they only know what they've heard from others and are quick to assume. My reputation has been dragged through the dirt many times. I know how it feels to be told I've gotten what others haven't gotten. I hate feeling like I owe people something because I've never asked for much except a home and people who love me and care about me and my well-being. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't receive gifts. I don't get things handed to me. I don't get vacations or family time with people I care about. There is no more support or so-called family. I live in a small apartment alone. I'm barely ever home. I work. I don't go out much. I have few friends, and that's how it should be. I appreciate everything I've worked for and am working for. I don't expect much. In the past 5 years, I've moved to 13 different places to get to where I am today. I've slept on the floor, I've drank tap water, I've had little food, I've lost a lot of weight. At times I had no money for laundry. I walk everywhere, rain, snow, or shine. I've experienced being homeless before and after being pregnant with my daughter.